Hi and welcome to ZapQuote. In today's video we are going to be looking at projects. So specifically projects, we are going to make a new project and we're going to discuss the different types. So let us start straight away by, we've clicked on this tab here, straight away we are going to start a new project. Now over here we would put in our project name. So let's just make up a name, we'll call it ZapQuote World. There we go. We can fill in things like the project address, and the project reference at a later stage. If your projects require a reference, just pop it in there and that'll be very helpful. We have a drop down here. You can choose one of your previous customers or we can add a new customer. I think for this one we will add a new customer and we're going to call him Dave. This is we'll call him Dave Smith. There we go, Dave Smith. We can put in the email addresses. The customer addresses, because there's a little red star there, it requires a customer address, and we shall call it Dave Street. We can edit this customer at any time we like. So we can, to get us started, we can just kind of put the basics in, do our work, then we can come back and add all the bulk of the information at a later stage. But let's just create that customer. There we go. So it's created. We're still on this page now here. Now what I'm going to do is we've got here toolbox templates. So in our previous video we created a toolbox template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that up and I'm going to choose Electrical London, which is the one we made in our previous video. It's not a problem if you don't have any templates made up. The software will simply bring you to the toolbox template page on your way through this process, and you will just make up a toolbox. It's as simple as that. But if you watch our previous video on toolbox templates, it may be worth making one up so you are all ready. Now over here you can see we have project type. Now we have two project types here. We have PDF markup and we have blank markup. Now the reason why we have these two different types is on the PDF markup, these are for projects where someone has given you a set of plans and said, well, here's a set of plans. We want you to design us an electrical and lighting layout, and can you put it on here for approval? And you go, okay, great. And you mark it all up and send them a quote. If you do not have that PDF markup, we wanted to give you the option of just having a blank markup. So this is so you can still drop icons onto a page. It is a blank page, but at least the system knows how many sockets we've got in a project, how many and how much they're going to cost, so we can still produce a quote. And on the blank markup, we can still use our room function to make a little square and drop those icons into a room, so we can still do this breakdown by room. So we can show that the kitchen has 6 downlights, 4 sockets, an oven isolator and a fridge freezer. But it doesn't necessarily show you exactly where they are marked. It just says that within that room, that's the number of accessories that you have, in order to get to the quote section, which is the important section, where this is where your client will agree to accept the works. But for this purpose, for this video, we're going to do a PDF markup. In our next video, we will show you making a project in a blank markup. So now we're going to hit this button here. It says create project. There we go. So it's brought us to this page here, review the toolbox. So now this is the toolbox that we previously made up in our previous video called London Electrical. So we can have a look through at the items we have here. And looking at it, I might want to add maybe a couple of extra items in here. We may, let's say, I'm going to pop an oven isolator in there. And we may want a let's say a boiler isolation switch fuse spur. So at this point we can still go into edit mode. We can still edit the prices for this project. To know more about this section, if you look at our previous video, toolbox templates, we go into that in detail. So let's just go back over to here. We can open up our editor. Now, if you have a look here, we now need to drop our PDF plan on here, or we click on here to select a file from our computer. I am going to drag and drop a plan onto here. There we go. So there is our plan. Now, if you have watched one of our previous videos called ZapQuote Shortcut Keys, that will give you an insight into how to mark up these plans quicker. So that is a good one to watch. So now what I'm going to do, I'll be using shortcut keys to zoom out. So here is our plan. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, I'm going to just talk you through everything that is on this page now. So up here, this will then bring us either back to our dashboard, we can log out, we can remove this PDF and upload another one, we can edit our project details from here, and that is our customer. So coming down the left hand side here, this is our normal select tool that we use most of the time. This is our link tool. A link tool is what we use when we're trying to indicate switch lines. So if we have a group of downlights that are grouped together off one gang of a switch, then we can link it using that, which I'll show you in a moment. We have our room tool. There is a separate video on room tool, but we will be using that in this video. We have text tool. Now the text tool is very simple, so we can put some text on the plan to indicate something like air conditioning unit goes here, or just whatever you feel. This is our measurement tool. This is fascinating because with the measurement tool we can first of all calibrate. So we can, if we have a look here on the project, you can see that that distance from there to there is 1200. So I can use that as a calibration. I can select those 2 points and tell my software that that distance is 1200 millimeters. Then whenever I use my measurement tool from that point onwards, I can click between 2 points and the software will tell me what that measurement is. That's very handy for working out all sorts of things. This here is our pan tool, so we can move our plan around. I have a fairly good mouse, so I can just scroll up and down on my mouse, and that will move it about. But those of you who don't have this type of mouse can use the pan tool to move yourself about. Here we go, we have zoom in and we have zoom out. There are shortcut keys for these. Then this is rotate our icons clockwise and rotate our icons anti-clockwise. There we go. And then that one there, this one, if we hit full screen, it will cover your entire screen, which will make it a lot easier to see your software. it will take up your entire screen, which then makes everything really, really large and very easy to see. That there is our delete. So if we've selected anything, we hit delete, it will delete that. Down the bottom we can scroll. If our PDF has multiple pages, like ground floor, first floor, second floor, this is where you would scroll through that. Now going over to this side, so here is our toolbox. We can minimize it. There we go. And the bottom we can minimize that as well, just to give us more space if we need. So in here will be our icons, and it's from here that we drag and drop onto our page. If you notice, there is our edit, and we come back to the toolbox, and we can edit, and we can go back to the editor that way. So let me zoom out. We've got list view and grid view, so we can view our sidebar here can be whatever you feel most comfortable with. So the very first thing I usually do when I'm about to mark up a plan is I will move one icon onto the page. And if you notice, that icon has come up very, very large. That is obviously too big for this plan. You can imagine if I had double sockets all around there, the plan would look ridiculous. So what we have down the bottom here is icon size. So it's a lovely little slider. And if you notice, we can slide it to very, very small and big. So if I slide it down to what I want, and you'll notice it adjusts the size of all icons. So you don't have to individually resize every icon. You can just slip that down, it resizes all the icons at one time, and we can lock that off. So there we have. We've got two icons now on the page, and we can move them about. The next thing I want to show you on here is these two boxes here. So this over here, if we just click markup, this will quickly prepare you a document which you can take off as a PDF and save to your desktop if you like. There we go. Let's open that up. There we go. So this is, so we can have a quick look at what our quote, what our markup is starting to look like. There we go. We've only added two icons, but that just gives us a quick heads up. There we go. Let's have a look at quantities again. This will take a few seconds to do. Let's open that up. There we go. Bill of materials. There we go. Bill of materials. Close that down. So this really is when we say bill of materials, a bill of quantities, it tells us how many. So once we've marked everything up, we can print off this report and give us a very quick indication of what we've got. So we might have 50 odd double sockets, 72 downlights, and this is especially when we come to ordering for our second fix, we can print off our bill of quantities and we can hand this to the wholesaler and say, I would like that for delivery tomorrow, please. So that is the purpose of the bill of materials there. Let me clear that off. And we have finalized quote. We're going to go to that towards the end. So let's populate this. First of all, I'm going to show you this is our linear LED type A. Now the linear LED type A, this is a different icon to all the rest of the icons. These you have to individually size because these we need to stretch. So let's say we're going to have an LED that sits above the unit there, and that's basically how you do it. I mean, you can spin it round and put them anywhere you like, and we can get basically put that there. We have linear LED type B, C, so if you have different types of linear LED lights, you can indicate them so. here we go. Let's put some recessed downlights down, or let's put a switch down. Let's put this switch down. There we go. There we go. Let's put an oven isolator. Let's go. Let's pop that down there. There we go. And this is us generally marking up our plan. We can put a smoke detector in here. Now what looking at this, we're going, okay, let's put a type B light. We're going to put a type B downlight in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fast drop this so I can add a lot more. For details on fast drop, if you go to our shortcut keys video, and it will show you how we fast drop. There we go. That's quite simple to have a look at. Now, what we're going to do is I have got a light switch. I'm going to link it up to these lights. I'm going to use my link tool. For the link tool, we just click the first one we want to link it to. If you notice there, it says right click to cancel. If you right click, it cancels what we're doing at the moment. Now you'll notice as soon as I've come across this, we get a lovely green line that says we're ready to go. If you click that, a line appears, ready to go. Click that, line appears. Click that, ready to go, line appears. Click that, ready to go. Over there, click that. Then what I've realized here is actually I don't want these two linked. I actually want to delete this last line. So if I go back to this point, it turns red. So when it turns red, it means we're going to delete. There we go, so that's deleted. So now right click to cancel. Now what I'm going to do is I want to set up another switch line, which is going to do these four there. And I'm going to right click to cancel. So there we go, we've set up two switch lines indicated within this kitchen living room area. The next tool I'm going to show you is the room tool. The room tool is a very handy tool because the software can't read the writing on the plan to know that this area here is a living room. So what we have to do is we have to be able to tell it that. So if I click on the room tool and I click on the corner of the room there, there we go. It doesn't have to be that accurate. The most important thing about making a room, let me just call this living room kitchen. Most important thing about making a room like this is that we get it all the way around the edges and the icons are within the room. So what happens is if you have a look here, now the software knows that these icons are within that room. So we know that inside that room we've got one double switch socket type B, a linear light, a light switch, and 8 type B downlights. And this makes a very big difference when it comes to our quoting, because if we have if we've marked out our room so that the software knows what icons are in what room, we can then use the quote by room function in our quoting section. So let me close that down. There we go. So that is our room markout tool. What we're going to do is we're going to move on to our text tool. Our text tool is also very simple. Just click anywhere on the page. Now the text we want to put in there, we might want to put, let's say anything. Let's call this ZapQuote Project London. ZapQuote Project London. There we go. You can see it appears there. Now I personally, let's have a look. I like a good ZapQuote blue. Let's do that. There we go. That's great. And shall we make that slightly bigger? We can make it slightly bigger. There we go. Let's press edit on that. So if we go back to the select tool, that's how we move these things about, and we can pop that over there. Okay, obviously if we want to edit it, we can just click it and we can edit it, reduce the text size, type in text size, change color, etc. And we can delete it. So there we go, that's our text tool. The next tool we're going to come on to here is the measurement tool. For the measurement tool, I'm going to zoom right in. I'm going to zoom right in on this island here. And the reason why I'm going to zoom right in is because I want to get it really, really accurate when I calibrate my measurement tool. So when we first start using the measurement tool, if you have a look down here, it says click to place point to measure from. So what we're going to do is we're going to click right on that point there. And then we're going to click a second point to set a distance, because we're now calibrating here now. So I'm now telling the software that from that point to that point, so now we're going to calibrate from that point to that point. We know it is 3,000. Oh, that's 300 centimeters. In our next update, we will be changing these units, by the way. So, but for now, we're gonna roll with this. So I've saved the calibration. There we go. So now I've calibrated that from that point to that point. It is 300 centimeters, which is 3 meters, which is 3,000 millimeters. So now from this point here, I'm going to use my let us zoom back out. That's it. So now at this point here, while still in measurement tool mode, if I now want to know any distance on this plan, the software will tell me. So if I want to know what the distance is from this wall to that wall, it is 714.06 centimeters. If I want to know what it is from there to there, there we go. It is 168 centimeters. Now, if I go back to my select tool, we can then tweak these to where we want these to go. If you have a look, or we want that, how far is that to that point there? Or if we wanted to know, let's say we have this table in the middle here, and the client would like a specific downlight right over the center of that table. We're kind of going, oh gosh, now how are we going to work out where that is if it's on there? Well, let's use our measurement tool. Let's come from the this point to the center there, and let's come from that point to the center there, and that gives us an indication. Obviously that's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. That gets us to the center of that. There we go. So there is our measurement tool. That is pan. That will just move our things about. And we've been through the rest here. I hope this video has been helpful, but if you have any further questions, you can contact us on hello@zapquote.net. And thank you very much.